Okay.
I'm sorry, I was yelling upstairs.
That's all right.
and didn't even realize that finished. $12 for the pouch, $40 for a 4-pack. Come on and get those off me. Shout out to my man Marquise that took 4 of them off me today.
Did he?
Yeah. They're selling pretty well. I'm a real, real businessman now.
I
And all
see.
that kind of stuff.
I
Trying
see.
to be like Lisa Monet when I grow up.
You know what?
But what's up, everybody? You are tuned in to another week of Access Granted, the Par Stream. Your boy, Mr. Antoine, is in the building. My lovely, 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 lovely co-host, Lisa Monet, is in the building. How are you, dear? How's everything going with you?
Everything is going well. Everything is going well. Had a productive week.
That's always good.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that. That's always good.
I did.
Got a couple of things.
Okay.
That I wanna touch on before we go. First off, want to give my condolences to DJ Booby.
Oh.
His father-in-law passed away over the weekend. We were down, as Ram Assassin has now joined us in the background, so we good to go. But we were down doing our third Sunday giveaway that we do under the Falls Way. And Booby usually comes down and DJs for us, but it was announced that he had just gotten the word, like literally right before he was getting ready to come, that he lost his father-in-law. So condolences and everything to his wife Drea. I know that's got to be tough, but
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
And gotta send a shout out to my boy Renard. He's been in the hospital since Friday. They're talking congestive heart failure, but he's actually doing pretty good.
Wow, that's good to hear.
Yeah, and then another shout out to my buddy Derek. His mom had a heart attack yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, on the way back from Virginia Beach. So she is at the University of Richmond hospital. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave that at that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna turn this into a religious moment, even though I could, but I just want to let my peoples know, man, that I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. And if it's anything that Mr. Antoine can do, I definitely will. Shout out to my sister Kesha. Thank you for tuning in, Walbrook Warrior. Speaking of which, our annual Walbrook Warrior cookout is this Saturday. I believe it's at 12 o'clock, so I'm looking forward to. I think I'll make it. At this point, I plan to go, but some things may change between now and then because I may end up down in Virginia with my boy Derek if he needs me to be down there. But shout out to all of my Warriors, especially the class of '87, the greatest class to ever come out of Walbrook High School, and the greatest band in the history of Baltimore City.
Of the Baltimore, okay.
I marked in Walbrook's band, absolutely. No, Kesha, we not doing none of that '88 stuff. Y'all ain't know how to act. Y'all
88 didn't know how to act.
Yeah, class of '88 act like these teenagers these days. They ain't know how to act. So nah, you get no love here. You get no love here.
Oh. So let me ask you something. You being an alumni of Warburg,
Yes.
um, what what happens now because that Warburg is not the name anymore. It's something
No.
else.
And it hasn't been Walbrook in years now. That
Hmm.
school is actually called the Kip Academy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that hasn't been, gosh, it hasn't been Walbrook in a long time.
A long time.
Like when they
Okay.
first started doing away and changing the names and all of that stuff of all of the city schools, like how Northern or like Lake Cliff, they have all of these
True.
different
Yeah,
names
Lake
now.
Clifton. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
and Walbrook was probably one of the first, but that's been the Kip Academy, which I believe is an elementary middle school
Oh,
for
okay.
years now. And our alumni association actually kind of like adopted that school. So,
Oh.
we do fundraisers for the school. We
Hmm.
help them build the playground that's in the back of the school. And we have a great relationship with them, which is why we can continue to do like our annual cookout and everything there. And yes, Cash, it will always be Walbrook, but for the sake of answering her question, it
I'm
is
sorry. Listen, I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to know because I'm like, it's not Warburg anymore. Not to take away from y'all, because the Warriors, go Warriors.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, it doesn't stop alumni. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
not at
But
all. Not at all.
I
And
didn't
and
know
I
that
s-
y'all
and,
went ahead and included them in the cookout and stuff like that. So
yeah.
that's great. That's
I
great.
just say that God made it special. There was only a certain amount of time that it was supposed to be here. And we made an amazing impact in Walbrook Junction for the time that we were there. And then it was just time to shut it down. You got
Okay.
schools like Lake Clifton and that fake warrior school out in Woodlawn. They
Oh,
still around, but you know,
hmm.
we came in, we
Okay.
did what we had to
Yeah.
do, and then we
We're
moved
gonna
on,
play
and we
nice.
and we passed down the legacy. That is playing nice because I got a lot I could say about those fake warriors in Baltimore County. But
Okay.
shout out to
There
all of
you
the
go.
schools, man. The fact is, I'm a product of public schools,
Uh-huh.
and I'm proud to be a product of public schools because public
Same.
schools get such a horrible rap these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Some of it deserved, but some of it unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not
True.
their fault that some of that casino money not coming the way that it should be, so on and so forth. But we're not gonna go there because I see the look on your face. But I
We're
gotta
not
keep it
doing
100.
it.
I gotta keep it real because part of getting us to come out to vote to approve that casino
Was about the
was
schools.
about the schools.
It
And
was. I mean, I say yes for the schools
yeah,
because
and I don't think the schools are getting their just due.
I don't.
Especially when as soon as spring hits, you have to still be let out of school early because there's no air conditioner. Soon as winter hits, they got to be let out because there's no heat.
No
We
heat.
should that shouldn't be the case anywhere in 2023.
It
But
should not. It should not. They should have had that along with. I mean, I've seen a lot of schools like my kids. My daughter, she's a Western. Go Western. I'm a Western alumni. Um, but she don't do it.
I'm not. I love
Okay.
Western. Used to have
She
some battles with y'all on the basketball court. Our
Yeah,
girls.
right.
Yeah.
They're good. They were good this year. So they don't. She doesn't get dismissed because, of course, they have air and heat. But at the same time, they will upgrade the computer systems. The computer labs are top of the line. Some of these schools get additions built onto their school because initially, remember they had those trailers. For a minute,
Hmm.
they had trailers in addition to the schools, and then they started doing away with the trailers and actually building onto the schools. So I don't know, but I don't see any money of improvements, and these poor babies got to be dismissed and all of that, and parents work. Like I can't, man. It's hard. It's so hard.
We're gonna change the subject
We're
because
gonna
I could
change
go on for this for an hour.
the subject for
And our
real.
guest tonight, if I'm not mistaken, is already 5 hours ahead of us in the time zone. So it might be midnight where
Is
he's
it
tuning
midnight?
in.
Oh, let me be quiet.
Um,
Come on, guys.
but we might have to do a show about that.
Okay.
We might have to do a show about that. We might get kicked off the air because I'm gonna get on there and
You're gonna
but we
show
might have to
off.
do a show about that.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Rhyme Assassin in the building.
Hey, welcome to the
Yo,
show.
what's happening, everybody?
I believe joining us from the UK.
Yeah, from the UK. Yeah, like it's right.
Wow.
It's just after midnight.
Just after
Wow.
man. Look, salute
Well,
to you
thank
for
you
that,
for
my
staying up
brother.
for
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, gotta be done, man.
I've only had one other guest from the UK on the show. His name was DJ Configure.
No,
He's
from figure. Yeah, yeah, no
a
doubt.
producer from out there. He was on the show with Speech from Arrested Development because they had just put out a project together.
Yeah, you produced a lot of tracks for Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doing great. It's doing great.
Yeah. How are things in your world, bro?
Everything is good. Stay alive, keep going,
Yeah.
taking each day as it comes. But yeah, we
Yeah.
keep moving.
Yeah. And as always, man, shout out to my girl MJ Savino, the greatest publicist in the world, the one that gets me connected with people all around the globe. I absolutely love MJ, man, and I know she does her thing for you, bro. So
Yeah, mad
definitely,
respect to MJ, man. She's always on the grind. Personally, I don't even know how she does it, man. Sometimes it's a crazy schedule. She's managing like loads of artists
yeah,
while she keeps everything on the tab. She'll be like, "Don't forget your interview tomorrow." I'm like, "What
yeah.
interview?"
What,
Like
right?
it's so
Who
crazy.
interview with who?
But
Right?
she's got everything. Like she's
Yeah,
always on point, man. It's like
yeah.
salute
And
to MJ, most
yeah,
definitely.
definitely. And I mean, there's a reason that she's like the 5-time publicist of the year. Like she earns every bit of everything that she gets, man. And I had a chance to have her on the show and talk to her, and like she really gives you guys 1,000% when she represents you, man. She doesn't, she lets very little, if anything, slip through the cracks. I'm like, man, I don't know how she does it, man. Salute to her for
She
real.
doesn't miss anything, man. She's always on the grind,
Yeah,
24/7, man.
yeah,
She's always working,
yeah.
man.
And she has to be because she has a lot of y'all in different time zones, man. And she's right here on the East Coast time with us in the US, but she has clients all over the world, man. So it's got to be a constant, you know what I'm saying? Like like I'm not gonna say I can't do it, but more power to her because it's a
Yeah,
lot.
definitely, man.
It's a lot. And when you look at her client list, man, it's long, and it seems like it gets longer and longer, every time we talk, man. But yeah, shout out to MJ. Um, Out of Zimbabwe, man, which I thought was kind of cool because that's I used to hear stories. There's this I can't remember what the name of the documentary that used to come on like the Discover Channel. And you know how when you're from a certain country, you just think that like everybody that's in another country is just like totally different.
Yeah,
And I learned a lot about Zimbabwe and some other countries because I used to watch this thing that used to come on the Discovery Channel. And like, how you just watch something and you be like, damn, it happens there too. Like there's,
yeah, yeah.
there's crime, there's poverty, there's homelessness, there's, this, that, and the third. Talk a little like how much time did you spend in Zimbabwe? And if you remember any of it, tell us a little bit about how it was there.
So basically, I left. I was 20 years in Zimbabwe before I relocated to the UK.
Wow.
So like I experienced pretty much everything. But since I've left, some things has changed. But so because I think we got our independence like in 1980 from the British Empire.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, everyone was rejoicing. I think generally they are loving, caring people. But how can I say this? We've got a rich culture in terms of how to do things. Like everywhere in the world, you got a bit of everything. There's other places, you avoid going because there's a high crime rate.
yeah.
But the only difference is like in comparison to you is like our police are not allowed to carry guns.
Mm.
So like even in the UK, police are not allowed to have guns. So they
Mm.
only have tasers and the button sticks. So just like in Zimbabwe, they don't have like guns. So if you hear like a shot, it's like a breaking news, like what? Something
Yeah.
happened with a gunshot. So our crime is usually, like people maybe breaking into houses trying to steal, for different reasons. Some trying to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, there's also, the rich side, like, people balling, living a life, making millions. So there's a bit of everything everywhere. But yeah, so in terms of personal experience, I think I got two sisters, but I had the privilege also to go to a boarding school um, for my high school. So basically, I think it was the most mind opening and best experience of my life, because that was the first time I get to meet people from different backgrounds.
Gotcha.
You learn how to take care of yourself, because you have to wash your uniforms yourself, make
Yeah.
sure you iron, make sure everything is ready, because like some on the boarding school is like a bit militant. Everything has to be done on time. So I think
Mm-hmm.
for personal development, it was a great experience.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you got any questions, but yeah.
No, it sounds to me a lot like my first impression of what I got the first time I visited Jamaica, because when you see commercials about Jamaica, they show you the sun, the beaches, the palm trees, all of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. And then when you get there and you have an opportunity to actually go around and visit Jamaica, it's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. And that's why I love visiting other countries, because as different as we are, we have so many similarities, man. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And Zimbabwe sounds like, one of those. Like I remember um having the opportunity to visit Hawaii a couple of years ago, and 2 blocks from the airport they had about 3 blocks full of homeless people. And
Mm.
I'm like, yo, this is Hawaii. This is the land of, beautiful beaches, blue water and everything. And the first thing that you see when you pull out of the airport,
It's the
is
homeless.
is and I'm not talking like two or three homeless people. I'm talking like families of homeless people
Hmm.
along this stretch of road, man. And it's always a learning experience for me, because
Yeah.
again, I'm born and raised here in the United States. Been in Baltimore the majority of my life, so like this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that opportunity to go and experience it, in other places, man, you realize like, bro, it's not, Baltimore's not that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, because, like, for example, for my own personal experience, like back home, like in Zimbabwe, there are other like homeless people. So my first impression when I came to the UK, seeing someone begging in the street, I'm like, what is this UK? Because like from the images, about the
Right.
place, the movies,
You think
even
about
the
Right.
the Queen,
commercials,
You think it was a
you
queen?
Buckingham
always think
Palace, and all
everything
of
is
that?
high end. So
Yeah.
it was like a culture shock to some extent, seeing someone on the street. Like, because I'm from Zimbabwe, so like sometimes, like, if you look at most of the commercials, especially for Africa, poverty is portrayed like it's only for black people, kind of
Hmm.
thing. So when I
Mm-hmm.
came to the UK, seeing like a white person like begging on the street, like, it was a culture shock. Like, what is this happening here? This is the UK, like kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but then you get to realize, there's a bit of everything in every country you go to. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's why it's good to travel, open up
Yeah.
your
It
mind
is.
and see how things it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you spent your first 20 years in Zimbabwe, then evidently you're very familiar with the hip hop scene. Talk a little bit about the hip hop scene there
In Zimbabwe.
in
Oh yeah.
Zimbabwe.
So I think it kind of started like in the early 80s. But when it started, like we didn't have any like dedicated hip hop shows. So, on one of the shows you might hear a hip hop track here and there, like, but it wasn't like major airplay. So
Right.
if you loved hip hop, you like to talk to your friends. Um, so how we used to get music is, when someone travels, because to another, even we are on our
Yeah.
stores, we hardly had any hip hop CDs. So we rely on people like visiting America, going on holiday, South Africa, or in the UK, anywhere else. And if you're a hip hop lover, when your mom is asking you what you need, you're like, I just need this CD, you know. So that's how people kept bringing the music back. And because this is like pre-YouTube, so you know how it is with the cassette tapes.
Yeah.
um and sometimes like for someone who really loved hip hop, they would put great value in the CD they had. So sometimes there were some guys would even charge you like, I'm gonna charge you $10 for you to listen to this, and I'm coming to your house tomorrow morning and collect my CD. Like
Oh,
so that's how we used to.
Just
wait a
to
minute.
listen.
$10 just to
Yeah,
listen, and then you got to give it
I
back.
remember paying for, when DMX is Stuck in Hell is Out came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I didn't know DMX then. So one of my friends,
Okay.
I think he's been to the US, and he got the CD. So it's like, there's this guy called DMX. He's hot. I'm like, I've never heard DMX. Like, is he that good kind of thing? It's like, bro. And I was like, okay, let me listen. It's like, I can't give you the tape because it's so dope. So I tried to say like, then it's like, give me $10, I'll give you the CD. And like I was mind blown when I first listened to DMX. So like that's one of the first times like I remember like vividly paying just to listen. But you know how it goes. Once you get the CD, you record it on your cassette tape. Then you got a copy. And but obviously that's one of his conditions. He didn't want you to even record it, but obviously I would still do it and not tell him.
Yeah,
But
of course.
Right.
so that's how
How
we,
did he
we
know?
got to sharing music. Or sometimes if you had cable, because not many people had cable back then.
Right.
So for people with cable, we'll record like music videos, and sometimes they'll sell it and pass it around, just sharing the music and exchanging. But as time went on, like it got more popular and popular. Starting having own hip hop shows. So the current state, we even got our hip hop awards in Zimbabwe at the moment. We've got like other hip hop festivals. And we've got many hip hop shows on different radio stations. So as far as hip hop goes, like it's growing. And I think last year or this year, Rick Ross came to perform before like Lost Boys came to perform. There's still a few people still come to perform because there's great appreciation for hip hop. But we're
Yeah.
still trying to get the numbers up. But yeah, it's
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
growing.
Of
It's
course.
many people on it.
You actually kind of answered what was going to be my next question. So other than DMX, like what was some of your early American memories of hip hop? Like who are some of the other artists that you were on to other than DMX?
I think the first ones was Wu-Tang. Liquid Swords was one of the first
Oh,
ones.
the genius.
Wu-Tang. I think the first tapes of hip hop, which were passed on to me, I kind of like shaped the type of hip hop I still listen today because I had like Jeezy, Wu-Tang. I remember Doggy Style, Gangstar, Dead Prez, KRS One, because I also listened to a lot of the Funk Flex mixtape when they came out, and DJ Clue, because they got like a bunch of artists, so it gave you an exposure to which other artists are banging out there. So yeah, those were the main first ones. And Cannabis, not to forget Cannabis, because he's one of those MCs. Like when he came through, like he made me feel like I want to write my own rhymes because like it was just different.
That first Funk Master Flex mixtape, the one where he had the Fugees freestyling on there.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could find that. I wish I fell in love with Lauryn Hill on that mixtape. That was kind of before I think I was on to the first album that they had dropped as the Fugees, man. So then how did you or what made you decide to make the move to the UK? Was this about music as well?
No, because my uncle was already like living in the UK. So in comparison, it's like, oh, try and relocate once you finish your high school to the UK because there's more opportunities and all that. And like if you're there, you're like, let me go and try, go somewhere else and see how it is. So that's how I end up relocating to the UK. Search for greener pastures, open new doors and stuff like that.
Okay. And talk a little bit about the scene there, because I'm sure that's a little different, especially now that it's kind of been UK hip hop's kind of been put on the map a lot. You know what I'm saying? You got some various artists that are kind of known around the world. Talk a little bit about how the scene is there.
The scene is actually live, like it's
Yeah.
crazy. There's people touring every week. There's people touring. It's big, but it's just that the sound and the rhyme style is a bit different from America, the UK one. But they really do have like their own UK strong fan base. But even with that, at the same time, there is still a big appreciation for the UK hip hop, because it influenced everybody. And like most of the hip hop shows they do, like in the UK, they're all packed, almost all of them, especially with the US. Because just a few weeks ago, I went to the Wu-Tang and Nas concert. It was
Nice.
yeah, they filled it up, sold out, 20,000. And so it's still big. Like they're still doing crazy numbers.
Yeah. Was that at the O2 Arena?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arena. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that's like Madison Square Garden for America, man. Anybody that's worth their salt wants to perform at U2.
Yeah, and I think a few weeks before then there was the Locks as well.
The Locks.
They came through, but I think Styles P couldn't make it because I think they had issues at the border, they said. But yeah, it was a great one as well. It was fully packed as well. But I think their one was like a 10,000 one. But yeah, it was still crazy.
And speaking of the Locks, I understand that you've done some work with one of my favorite lyricists, my man Jadakiss.
Oh, okay.
You got to talk about that, bro. Like, how did that relationship happen, and talk a little bit about just working with Jada's like my top 5 dead or alive. I know it's the name of the album, but he's definitely in my top 5 of all time, bro. He's Jada.
Yeah. So where did it start? So I think it was sometime last year. I think before you done the the versus battles they're doing when they're done with Dipset, like way back. So I spoke to him about a feature. We hadn't finalized. So then I hit him up after they done the Locks. So then he was telling me, now my stocks is higher now after the battle and everything. But he said he can still hold me down. So he's the one who done the intro for my Rhyme Assassin track, which was great. Appreciated the love on the tracks because just having him on the track, Jada's got fans everywhere. So when I play the track for people, the first thing they're hearing is Jada Kiss. They're like, what? You got Jada Kiss? It gets everyone excited. And also I think it's great motivation, especially like for, my people back in Zimbabwe, because many people hit me up like, man, how did you get to even get Jada Kiss to your intro? But it motivated a lot of people to say,
Absolutely.
if you stay focused, you can, eventually get to where you want to get to. So without even discussing the track, the feedback I got from people which felt like motivated, man. I think it was in the right direction. Plus also, he shouted out Zimbabwe and the UK. So, it made everyone happy back home. So it was good, much appreciated. Shout out to Jada Kiss.
I don't even rap, and I was jealous, bro. I needed Jada Kiss.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I was jealous. Hey, I was rocking Jada when they were with Bad Boy, when Puffy was trying to make them shiny suit boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And once they were able to get out of that situation and go over to Rough Riders, man,
it took off, huh?
It took off, man. Everything went crazy.
I think I'm gonna have to pull some Jada Kiss out after the show. No, for real. And are there any other influences as far as like writing that really inspire you?
I think the initial influence was Cannabis and KRS-One. Because like KRS-One is my favorite rapper of all time. So Anytime I'm listening to Chris, man, I get goosebumps in terms of like even the philosophy on some of his songs. The way he's thinking about his different perspectives to look at things. So it's not just like writing deep, but it's like the way you see things, the way you relate things. So yeah. Also, other people like Rascas, Crooked Eye.
Bro,
The list is long. Black
West,
Thought,
West
Scarface.
Coast.
Okay.
You ever had a chance to see KRS live? Has he ever come over?
Too many times, man.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe 10 times, I think.
Okay.
And I think the first time I actually saw him, I had an opportunity to, because like that's way back. That's when a lot of the hip hop artists were getting incarcerated.
Yeah.
So I was wearing a white T-shirt, written hip hop behind bars. So like all the pictures of everyone locked up. So I was like in the front row. So KRS-One was like, oh, he started talking about the T-shirt, about crime and everything. So then he actually asked me. He took it off, then he autographed on it.
Oh,
So for me,
wow.
it was like a crazy moment for me because it's like my favorite rapper. Then he actually, like autographed. I still have it. I
Yeah.
put it in a frame. It's on my
I was
wall.
gonna
So,
say that. Yeah,
That's
that
what I'm
should be up
saying.
on the wall like this.
up on the wall.
Exactly.
So since then, I was like, no more wearing up on the wall. But yeah, I've seen him like maybe 10 times now. Yeah.
The last time I saw KRS live, he dissed Big Daddy Kane, bro. It was it was they
Not Big
were
Daddy Kane.
yeah, they were so this was that they did a versus a few years ago. They actually did a versus. And if you watch that versus, Big Daddy Kane is competitive, but there's a difference between competitive and KRS-One. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because I think when he done that freestyle, man,
yeah,
I was like, come
yeah,
on, you didn't have to do
yeah,
that, man. That
yeah,
was crazy, the
yeah.
freestyle.
And so
And
and so the show that I saw, the two of them, and there were a lot of legends on this show. This was like, I'm talking like Kid and Play, Chubb Rock. There was some hip hop legends on this show. And they were supposed to be the co-headliners of the show. I don't like the co-headliner title because I feel like, shout out to Anita Baker and Babyface.
Oh my gosh, Babyface.
But so Big Daddy Kane went first in that show. He went right before KRS-One. And all of the other artists that had came up prior, there was, how like your local radio stations put on shows and they have, their various radio personalities come and introduce all of the acts. So all of the acts up until Big Daddy Kane had been introduced, they introduced Big Daddy Kane. He came on, he killed it. He does what Big Daddy Kane does. Big Daddy Kane exits off the stage this way. And then a few minutes later, you see KRS-One coming on this way. And he basically was like, I don't need an introduction. I'm the real headliner here. DJ dropped my beat. And the beat for South Bronx came on. And you already know that once South Bronx drops, the crowd is going wild anyway. But just the fact of the way that he did it,
the way he did it, yeah, it's like,
I was like, bro, you can't do that. Come on, bro. Like, but at the same time, it was so fire, bro. It was like, okay, this is the way that the whole entire show went. We had a whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight.
Things just changed.
Yeah, and it changed the whole. And once he starts, it's just back to back, just banger after banger after banger after banger, man. So
yeah, when he does that, it gets it interesting. I think it's just similar to what Jadakiss did with the Dipset.
Yeah.
So like he was going like crazy on him. So
let me tell you something. That versus was so unfair, bro. And it's funny that you keep bringing that up because I was on YouTube earlier today, and I found a little 9-minute clip of the part when I think it was Jewel Santana said something about, I don't think they like girls because all of their songs.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then they just hit him over the head.
And they went bang after banger with the chick strikes. Yeah. That was crazy. They were well prepared.
And Jadakiss just kept saying, Jewels must have bumped his head on a rock. We got Grammys, and I mean, he came back to back with like J Lo and Mary J. Blige. And
it's
I was
crazy.
like, oh my god, this was ugly, man. What's been your favorite verses so far? Other than that one, obviously.
I think I enjoyed the. I would have to say Chris and Big Daddy Kane was very entertaining.
Yeah.
But there were many of them which I liked. I also liked the Snoop and DMX. But initially I wasn't sure about the matchup because I wanted like high powered performance. But DMX was a bit chilled, but I still enjoyed it. It was definitely one of my favorite ones.
The thing I liked about the verses is a lot of those made me realize how many songs I either forgot from certain artists or you know what I'm saying? Like I forgot about a lot of like the mixtape stuff that the Locks did until that verses, man. And I was like, yo, like in fact, I had forgotten about him rhyming over the Who Shot Ya beat, the Biggie Smalls beat.
Oh, the freestyle,
And when he dropped that joint, I was like, oh. And see a lot of younger generation people thought that was like a new song or that was like a new freestyle. Like, nah, bro. That's
way
like
back.
15, 20 years old, bro. Like you gotta, you know what I mean? That verses brought out a lot of parts of catalogs that I either had forgotten about or didn't know, and was like, wow, you know what I mean? And I hope that they continue at some point, but at this point, it's kind of like
I also liked just remembered when RZA battled Primo.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the first ones as well. That was dope.
Yeah, it started out as like producers just playing songs that that they had produced for other people, and then it kind of got into more like the artist matchups. Man, that was like one of the best things that came out of the pandemic, music wise, for me was just to see. I think it was Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. I think did one of the early ones, and it was like, "Geez, me Christmas." Yeah, so definitely a lot of fun.
What about the Puff Daddy and Jermaine Dupri? Is it still
That's
gonna
the
happen?
one, and as I was just saying, that's the one that's been on the table for like 6 months now, and nobody knows if it's going to happen or not. Can you imagine though?
Heats after heats.
Can you imagine like that would have to be like a 4 or 5 hour joint for real.
I know, man, because they all got crazy joints, man. It's crazy.
And hip hop and R&B. That's the thing about it.
Definitely.
That would, God, that make me wish Big was still here because I would love to see Big on stage at that part. Yeah, that's crazy. Also understand you've stepped into the battle arena a couple of times, and I am a humongous battle rap fan, so we definitely got to talk about that a little bit, man.
Oh yeah, but I kind of stopped like recently. But sorry.
No, I was saying you stopped. Okay.
Yeah, but like when I started listening to music, before I started writing my own like rhymes, when people was still like getting interested, we used to get crazy about Method Man verse. So like me and my friends before, we used to like recite other people's rhymes. So then you'll be like, oh, I know this Method Man verse. I started rapping, and I'm like, oh, I know a better verse. So we started battling with verses which actually we recited from other artists. So after like a few battles, like what, let's do our own rhymes. Then we start battling. So that's how we started. So like way back in Zimbabwe, there was other venues which did like some clubs which used to do like battles, and like whoever wins like 500 pounds and all this stuff. So I used to go to some of those, and a few times when I came to the UK, like you got the open mic sessions. So sometimes you do that, but it's just that at the moment actually my time is mostly on the writing songs, because I'm working on my album. It's called Dedicated to Self. So that Rhyme Apostle track was the first single of the album. So I'm just finalizing that album. But simultaneously, I'm also working on another album with Craig G. So I think it took me like, I underestimated the amount of time that I needed. And I think my also mistake was working on the two albums at the same time. Because if I get certain beats, I think this is right for my album with Craig G, and I'll send them to Craig G. And Craig G is like a working machine. Within a day, boom, you send you everything back. And I'll be like, crap, I need to write. So I need to finish the song. Then I start writing the song. Then I'll be like, oh, but this album is coming out first. So like that's where most of my time is like taken. So that's what I'm doing mostly at the moment. Like, just finalizing the albums, and doing some videos and everything.
Now, there's only one Craig G that I know in hip hop. And this guy is legendary. Are we talking about the same Craig G?
Yeah, man, from the legendary Juice Crew, definitely.
He had one of my favorite verses in the symphony, man.
Oh yeah. This is crazy. Yeah.
Wow. How are you making these connections, bro? Like this not just people that you can. This not just people that you can slide into their DMs and they're gonna reply right back to you. So you gotta have some kind of, you got some juice over there, bro.
Man, I think sometimes it's how you approach and your choice of words to start with. If you sound respectable, because some people might just DM you, like even me, and just say, yo, I need a verse. You don't even know who the person is.
Yeah.
So automatically you think like, who the heck? I don't even know this person.
You're gonna get ignored. You're gonna get ignored if you slide into somebody's DM like that. I promise.
Yeah, definitely.
So sometimes I think it's just the approach you use. And obviously some people be like, send me a track or two you've done. And if they like it, they vibe to it, they'll be like, okay, I think we can work on something. Then that's how we start. Then on other situations, I think it's through like networking, because I done 2 tracks with Afura, but I wanted like someone, one of the legendary producers. So he was like, actually I told him that because you are close to True Master, I need some beats. So he actually passed me. We started a group, me, Afura, and True Master. We started talking. And he actually told me I no longer sell my beats. He actually works with people if they're doing like an album together, something like that. But he said because I respect Afura and he said you good. So he sent me like 3 beats. No, about 5 beats, and he asked me to pick 2. So I actually got 2 beats from True Master. So like, for example, that one is like through networking, obviously I needed to get like Afura's respect for him to think I can work and to be able to do the connections. So I think sometimes it's, how you communicate with people. So I ended up doing a song called Legacy with Afura, and the other beat with True Master is going to be a solo track.
Bro, only real hip hop heads are going to understand how you really stunting on us with these names that you dropping right now, bro.
He just casually just saying them. He just said, oh,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And, for K Solo, it was MJ who hooked me up. I mean, MJ's friend, yes, the face. She's the one who hooked me up to K Solo. Because me and her, we started talking because when I was working with Cannabis, so she also connected me to Cannabis. Yes, the face. And then when I was working on the Rhyme Apostles, because it's got 12 MCs. So I was stuck at 11. So I made a post saying I've now got 11 MCs, want to go, blah blah blah. Then she hit me in the DM. Then she was like, I think K Solo fits the bill. Then the moment she said it, I was like, yeah, definitely K Solo's got that type of energy. So that's how I ended up getting to 12. So, I think there's a great power in networking and, good communication with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually jealous again.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
it's not
Actually
like
jealous.
maybe I'll need to make a documentary because it's not like even with good communication, some people will still tell you no,
True.
but they'll do it respectfully. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just how it goes.
And of course I'm joking about the jealous thing, but this is the point that I want to get across. We're 3 hours from New York here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? We have a pretty good hip hop scene here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
Bro,
good.
you're across the pond.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the networking that you're talking about, because of the approach that you're talking about, you know, you're able to make connections that a lot of these cats that's 3 hours away not touching. You know what I mean? And honestly, because
Yeah.
I've listened to some of your music and I see how you get down, if you ever wanted to work with anybody from Baltimore, I have a couple of people that I think would be right up your alley.
Yeah,
And
definitely,
the
man.
two that I'm thinking of right offhand, one's name is Jay Royale, and the other one's name is Ill Conscious.
Okay,
If
okay.
you have a chance and you want to go look them up, by all means do so. And if you like what you hear and you decide that you want to do some work, you can hit me directly. You can hit me through MJ, and I can definitely make that work. And I promise you'll be happy with what you hear for both. I promise
Yeah, man, definitely
you. Yeah.
good looking out because like it's the same thing. Like I'm saying, with networking, because like it will introduce me to people in Baltimore. So
Yeah.
that's how we all grow, and some people from Zimbabwe or UK, they'll get to listen to him as well. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing. So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I would definitely hit you up, definitely.
Yeah, I can see you and Jay Royale going back and forth, back and forth. He did a remake of the uh the Big L song about what was it, the broken language, I can't remember.
Oh, Ebonics.
Yeah, Ebonics.
Yeah.
He did a Baltimore version of that song.
Hmm.
And
Okay, okay. Because
after,
I once tried to do it. I was like, man, this is taking too much brain power, and I left it.
That's what you.
I mean, like nothing's ever going to be better than the original to me,
Mhm.
but I think
I think,
that his version was a pretty damn good representation.
yeah. Plus, you can use the same track, to tell your
Yep,
story. Like, if I was
yep.
to do one from Zimbabwe, for example, people might think, oh, that's what they call this thing. That's how they speak. So they can tell their own Baltimore story through the same track. So
Yeah. So talk a little bit more, man. You touched on it a bit, but the process of this album that you're working on now,
Mhm.
and you made a great point because you've already kind of like trickled over and started working on the second album.
While working on
That's
the
kind
first
of hard, bro. Like,
one. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? That the work that goes into one is already enough, and then you've already started, dibbing and dabbing on the second one.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't by choice.
Okay.
I mean, it just ended up because like um so basically how when I was working on the track, so for example, when I was working on the Rhyme Apostle track, because like I said, it had 12 MCs. So it took me a long time for to get all the verses back from every single person.
Sure. I'm sure.
So and I wanted to make it the first single. So I had many beats. So I had certain beats I had already chosen, like, okay, this matches the concept for the album and everything. But I had other beats. So because I sent Craig G, like, there's a time I sent like 4 beats to Craig G. I'm like, because we needed to do another song, not the Rhyme Apostles. Um, so the next thing I know, he's recorded already on 3 of them. So but initially once was like, oh, I like these beats. So he recorded. I was like, oh, he's done them already. So I was like, ah. So in talking, we started talking back and forth, back and forth. I was like, oh, we can actually, make an album. Then he asked me, do you have other beats? So then I sent him other beats. So like I was explaining earlier that with Craig G, like even just today, like 3 days ago, I sent him 3 beats. He's already done 2, so he told me already today what we're gonna do for one of the track. So with Craig G, it's like because he works so efficiently, it just started, like growing from there. So but it wasn't really like by choice, but I had to keep up with the pace. Um, but also like there's a lot of pressure as well because like you got Craig G and like on the my album dedicated self, I think it will have like about 12 tracks. And there's also like besides the 12 people featured on the Rhyme Apostle track, there's one song with MOP. Um, there's one song with Stickman from the Dead Prez.
I just saw that.
Now I'm forgetting. I got one song with Saigon.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at this as you're saying this. I'm literally sitting here reading all of that. Yeah, that's
so like the way like MOP is crushing the beat. You can't just write your rhyme and just so you need to make sure you come correct because I feel like it's an honor to have them on my track. So the least I can do, is like do my best and see how it goes. So yeah, so it's nearly done. So the moment we're working on this video for the Rhyme Apostles, and also because it's got 12 MC, it's taking a bit longer. I think Cannabis is shooting his scene this week, but most of the guys have already done their part, so it's nearly on completion as well.
Wow.
I had Billy Danz on the show last year, because he's represented by MJ.
Yeah.
And our cable company here had been on my street working on the Wi-Fi stuff all day. They stopped literally about 5 minutes before the show started. And then right after the show started, they started working on it again. And my Billy Danz show got cut short. And I'm still ticked off about that. Like, but
yeah, man, because Billy Danz is a great MC, man. Definitely. Because of the energy.
Yeah, had a chance to meet him here personally. Now I know that LL Cool J is doing his Rock the Bells festival now, where he's touring with a lot of the old school artists. But about 10, 15 years ago, there used to be another Rock the Bells festival that used to be just on the weekends. And it used to be a festival, and they usually will have anywhere from like 15 to 20 artists on there. Like 95% of my hip hop bucket list of people that I wanted to see live, I got to see them on that list, including rest in peace Phife Dawg before he passed away. And I remember MOP being here, and Lisa, you're familiar with Meriwether Post Pavilion down in Columbia.
Yes, in Columbia.
Right, so it's an outdoor kind of thing. And you have the main stage, and then you have a festival stage in the back. And I just remember MOP and KRS-One running around with these big hawk gloves on and water guns. And they were like literally having water gun fights and boxing with people in the crowd. But I had a chance to meet Billy Danz that day. And when I brought that up when he was on the show, he was like, yeah, man, I remember you because you asked me for some of my Hennessy. And I was like, oh, that's not the way. That's not the way I was supposed to be remembered.
Hennessy.
He had a gallon of Hennessy. He was standing on. So there's a path.
Babysitting.
Festival stage is back here. The main stage is here. There's a path that you have to walk on. They were standing there on a path, and he had a gallon in one hand and a plastic cup in the other hand. And I was joking, but I was like, yo, let me get some Hennessy. And he was like, sure. And then he kind of like fake pour. But that's like my but him and Busta Rhymes did the Annie Up remix that night, so that made up for everything that I need.
Okay.
Blew the roof off.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about these festivals, because you get to see like loads of your favorite MCs in one spot.
I was very disappointed when they stopped that festival. I got a chance to see Snoop Dogg do the whole Doggy Style album live with everybody that was on the album. The Dog Pound, Lady of Rage, all of them were there.
Wow.
I got to see it a lot. I went to that festival every year for like 12 years straight. And they stopped coming to Baltimore before they totally shut the festival down. They were trying to say that Baltimore they weren't getting enough people out, which didn't make sense to me because it was at Merriweather, which only holds about 3,500 people every day or anyway. And I know that we were, not only inside, but on the lawn in the back, like we were shutting it down.
Right.
And I also got to see Slaughterhouse perform live when they were, and this was like right when they were in the midst of the battle with Raekwon and Method Man and when Joe Budden acted.
Slaughterhouse, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's
why I was excited when Crooked Eye jumped onto the Rhyme Apostle track. I was like, mission accomplished, because it's one of my favorites. So yeah, that was definitely dope.
Yo, Crooked Eye.
Even a month ago, I think it's 2 months now, I came to New York for like 5 days.
Okay.
So I was staying somewhere in Brooklyn. But then Onyx was doing a show that Sunday. So I managed to go to that show. But there were many other artists like Tragedy Gaddafi.
Was that Onyx? Was R.A. the Rugged Man there with him?
Yeah, he performed as well. It was crazy.
I saw them here in Baltimore. I got some I have some footage from that show on our YouTube channel. Killed it.
Man, he's always killing, even with his features. I feel sorry for anyone who features him because he's gonna tear up the beat. And Sky was there as well.
Yeah, that's like asking Eminem to do a feature knowing Eminem is gonna come in, or Jay-Z to do a feature knowing that they're gonna come on, or
Jada gonna come and kill it,
knowing that they're gonna come and just demolish you on your own joint, man. But yeah, I got a chance to see Onyx and R.A. the Rugged Man here in Baltimore, man. Absolutely amazing show. I think the biggest thing that I got out of that show is that Sticky Fingers really sounds like that in person, bro. Like he's not speaking that voice. He really sounds like
that. My goodness.
What I didn't get is like the type of energy they had on stage, like proper shouting, like that high-powered energy. So I was actually thinking to myself, and they're doing like 40 different like shows. And I'm thinking, how do they keep up with each and every show when they're rapping like this? That's crazy.
They're cut from a different cloth, and they just understand. Like the venue that I saw them at here. First of all, I'd never heard of the venue until I went to see them, and there might have been 125 people at that show tops because it was a very small venue.
Wow.
Onyx performed like they were performing in front of 15,000 people.
That's the thing is like, even me, I feel like there was no like any compromise or nothing. They were just like literally going crazy throughout.
Matter of fact, I'm hold on a second. I'm gonna pull that up real quick because you got me thinking about that now, because I hear a lot of quote unquote artists. They want a headline, or they don't want to go, when it's only X amount of people out there. I don't want to get on. I want to wait till there's more people. But a lot of the people that I've seen or heard that I know that are true artists, like a Busta Rhymes, Redman, Method Man, they'll tell you, bro, I don't care if it's 5 people out there. I'm gonna get on that stage. I'm gonna get on that stage and I'm gonna perform like it's 5,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this place that Onyx and R.A. the Rugged Man performed at is a little small venue called the Baltimore West Gallery or something like that. Lisa, if I can give you a reference, Charles Street, right below North Avenue.
Okay. All right.
Little spot on the corner. And when I tell you, man, the energy that they had performing that night, and I'm gonna show a little bit of it here. Again, you would have thought that they were performing in New York. At Madison Square Garden. And I just remember being like, yo, Sticky Fingers really sounds like this when he raps, yo. Like, come on, stop playing. There's going to be a part when one of the guys on the stage are going to jump out in the crowd. So you'll see it's really not a lot of people.
Wait a minute. I see him right there. Oh, no.
That's all of the people that are there. That's the worst mosh pit ever.
I mean, but everybody probably trying to be too cool.
That's the worst mosh pit in the history of mosh pit.
I would have jumped in it.
It's especially for that type of track. You needed to be going crazy now.
Bro, they performed, and this is the last song that they did. Bro, they performed this entire show for an hour like they were performing at Madison Square Garden, bro. And I'm gonna stop it there because this isn't about Onyx, but I'm just like, I understand exactly what you're, bro. Like so if you saw him in New York, I can imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also like it made my highlight because like later they asked a few of us to come to the private room, whatever at the back. So we actually managed to. I got a small video with Onyx, just shouting like Sticky Fingers, going a bit crazy. But yeah, so I was like, okay, this makes my day. I actually didn't know about the show. It's just because I was meant to go to a festival in North Carolina, but I missed my flight. So I told MJ, I'm not longer going to the festival. So she's the one who hit me up and was like, you know what, if you're interested, Onyx are performing in Brooklyn if you want to go. I was like,
and she represents Sticky Fingers, so
yeah,
probably had a
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, MJ is the Lisa. MJ
she's
is that.
everywhere, man.
She's that. She's that. So you have this album that's ready. You got all of the it seems like all of the elements are coming together. You have an amazing guest list of artists that are on there, man. Like you're really working, like I said, a real hip hop head has to check this out, man, because you just, Craig G, Stickman, even just a little entrance, intro with Jada, like is huge.
It's huge, definitely. So and also I got another beat from Buckwild as well.
So as you started to throw some footprints on the second album already, which I don't understand how you're doing because there's so much going on with this first one. Are there some other surprises that you might hit us with on the second one as well?
In terms of like features.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. I actually spoke to Onyx, so I just need to finalize that one. I got a few, like I got many of them, but I don't want to name drop because some of them are not like confirmed, but like it's kind of done. But I usually only confirm after I've actually received the verses. Then I'm like, okay,
that makes sense.
Public. But yeah, I got many of them. But obviously, I got also solo tracks. But obviously, after all the tracks are done, I'll need to re-listen. So, some of the tracks might not make it on the album, depending. Because I think I've done more than I should. But I think it's not a bad thing. So I'll need to re-listen, so that the album is not too long.
So let me ask you this. So, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
So let's talk a little bit about Uncle Rhymes Records. And when did that start? Like, when did you develop Uncle Rhymes Records?
I think like 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have one artist on that. Is it T-Nice?
Yeah. One. So what I'm doing now is like I'm just pushing out my project first.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it creates more, doors and stuff. Because I don't wanna like get artists and like feel like you disappointed everybody.
Yeah.
So even me myself at the same time, as much as I'm doing all this, I'm still, learning myself
Okay.
how things are done and everything. So I'm just using myself as an example as well.
Gotcha.
So with everything that I'm doing, I'm just taking notes to see where I can improve. Even with the Rhyme Apostle track, uh, I'll literally write down everything that went well, and things I could improve. Because I believe even if something works out, there's always one or two things so improve. So I think the next single is called "Sing Along," featuring Rascas and Antlife. I think that's the next one to drop. Actually, it's dropping as a video because Rascas was touring with Antlife in the UK. Yeah, so we chilled a few times, then we shot the video for it. So the video is done already. Just a bit of editing left. Then yeah, that's the next one to drop.
Let me ask you this question. I was about to ask this before Lisa chimed in. um, so obviously, thanks to technology, you're able to work with some amazing artists. You know, being able to send beats, receive tracks by email and so on and so forth. But like, who would be that one artist that you would like really like to sit in the studio with and really vibe off and like make a track from scratch, make a song from scratch with? Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it one better. Who would be if you had an opportunity to sit in the studio with a producer and an artist, who would they be?
Whew, that's a hard one, but I need to pick one for each.
One of each. One of each. Or if you have more rappers, but like who would the producer for the song be? And who, what's the artist or artists that you would love to like literally, I mean, like you come to New York and y'all lock in at Sony Studios for however many hours and just knock out something from scratch.
Okay. Producer wise, I'm looking for a Havoc beat.
Wow. Okay. Havoc from Mob Deep.
For
Rest in
Mob
peace,
Deep because
Prodigy. Yeah. Rest in peace, Prodigy.
um
Wow.
I mean there are other dope ones, like I'll die to have a Primo beat, but there's like a few of Havoc tracks I feel like I need one of these beats like this. Because I got this other idea of this other song. And as far as the artists, in the same idea I was thinking is the person I feel fits for the verse I wanted is actually Scarface.
Hmm. Okay.
So I got this idea of the song, but like when you sit back and thinking, I'll be thinking like Scarface. For this one, it needs a Scarface verse. I mean, there are many dope MCs, but
Of course.
specifically for
Of course.
the idea I have, I think it's definitely Scarface.
Hmm.
But I think he was announcing that he's kind of stopping doing shows and
Yeah.
everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's winding down. But yeah,
Scarface, man.
Wow.
I remember him with Tupac on the song "Smile."
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I was
I
sick.
I remember it made me think about something when you said that he has a song with Beanie Siegel and Jay-Z called Can't Be Life.
Oh yeah.
And
I
and
love
this
that song.
yeah, Scarface tells the story of how he had gotten into the studio with the two of them and got a phone call from one of his best friends that his best friend's son had passed away.
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
turned that into the verse on the
Hmm.
song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, if you go and listen to that song, or at least the first few bars of that song, because it's like, as I walk into the studio to do this with Jed, got a phone call from one of my niggas, said it's
Yeah.
something about his son.
Okay.
Yeah. And like that's talent that not everybody, you know what I mean? So if
Right.
I were a rapper and somebody asked me that same question that I just asked you, for me it would be DJ Premier and Jay-Z. DJ Premier, just because I know that the beat is going to be raw. I know he's going to be scratching on my beat. And then I just want to sit there and just watch Jay-Z go through the thought process and then just hop in the booth and just demolish the song.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because even what's his name? Locksmith. He said he never
Amazing.
uses a pen, but
Amazing.
what amazes me isn't about Locksmith is almost each of his lines, like they've got great depth. Something I feel like you need to sit down and
There you
scratch your head to think of. But yeah, because you're saying it doesn't write down anything, so that's crazy.
Now, see, once Jay-Z made that famous, then you started having everybody and their mama talking about, oh, I don't write no bars when I go in the
Right. I
studio.
don't write
And
bars.
I just kept saying to myself, like, some of y'all need to pick them pens back up, because the stuff that y'all putting out here is garbage, man.
It is. And then it wind up saying the same thing over and over again. You be like, did you just say that?
I think they need to be put on a test to be like, here's the beat. I need you to think right in your head about this and see how it goes. Because I think nowadays, because you're like, oh, I never write and everything.
Yeah,
So
a lot of that's
but
not
I don't
confirmed.
believe it's everyone who does that though.
Yeah, a lot of them, it sounded cool. I don't believe a lot of them. And like I said, if y'all not writing stuff down, y'all need to get back to writing stuff down.
For
The
real.
reason that I believe Jay-Z does it is because I've seen enough artists and producers that have worked with him say it. Including, if you watch what was the movie that he did, Fade to Black, when he was doing the Dirt Off Your Shoulders beat with Timberland. Timberland was like, it was just amazing how he just sits there and listen to the beat and then just go in. So yeah, some of you guys, man,
I
y'all
think
don't have.
for a person like Jay-Z, there's a lot of references, to back up his claim. So yeah, for Jay-Z, you can believe, because there's many people who said we just play the beat, then after like 30 minutes, he's going in the booth.
Pick your pens and pencils back up, man, and your composition notebooks, because
Nothing.
because some of the stuff, and Jay-Z's reference was when he was out in Marcy, he was selling drugs. He would always be going through such and such and such and such, and he used to have to find a corner store to go in and write the stuff down on a little brown paper bag, and he got tired of having to find a store, so he just started memorizing stuff, and that's how he learned to
keep it in the head.
But not everybody.
Nah, definitely not everybody, man.
All right, man. So I know you got some videos, man, and I definitely would love to introduce some of your music to our listeners, man. So give me a video that you would like to play that I can possibly play without getting flagged on YouTube, if possible.
With the edit, you can play the Rhyme Apostle track.
The actual Rhyme Apostle. If I knew how to spell apostles, I'd be a bad man. Okay. Is this the one with Jada, Craig G?
Yeah, that's the one. Keith Murray, K Solo, Chino Excel, Cannabis,
bro,
Prodigal Son.
Come on. Hold up, bro. Hold up, bro.
Rusty Jukes.
Hey, Lisa, when they put 5-7 names down and then it says and more?
Yeah.
Well, he said the 12 apostles. There's 12 of them.
No, that one I can actually explain it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
When I tried to put everyone's name, it told me the characters are
you ran out of characters.
They were already characters. I was like, wow, damn.
Yeah, you can only do
I personally prefer to write all the names so that if someone loves cannabis, they'll be like, "Oh, cannabis, what's this?" You know.
Okay, I see what you did there.
So here's the trick to that, because you tried to put all of them in the title. You just have to put your name and the name of the song in the title, and then go down in the description and put all of the names.
Okay.
I think it'll work if you do it that way. But we're gonna get into this video, man, and Lord have mercy. It's a 12-minute. Do you want us to do the whole 12 minutes? That's a 12
No,
minutes.
you can just do like a few minutes, just
Okay.
so everyone can just feel the track.
Got you. We're gonna play this as long as we can, or until Facebook and YouTube cuts us off, whichever comes first. But I can imagine, and this is one of the ones that I didn't listen to, so I'm sure that this is going to be fire. But let's get into this joint right here. Rhyme Apostles featuring everybody and their mama on this track. Let's go.
You know who it is, your boy Jada Kiss. And right now I'm with Rhyme Assassin, aka Uncle Rhymes. We're gonna get into this joint right here. This joint right here is called Rhyme Apostles. You heard? Shout out to Zimbabwe and shout out to the UK. Let's get into this Rhyme Apostles joint. Uncle Rhymes, what's up, baby? Let's check it out. Yeah.
Rhyme Assassin.
Yeah.
The Rhyme Assassin.
Yo.
Yeah. Wow.
Rhyme Assassin. Yo. Uncle Rhymes.
Yeah. What up? Gonna do it like this.
Rhyme Assassin. Deep voice. Crank. Cheek. Rhyme Apostles. Yeah. Let's give it to them. They ain't ready for us, man. It's a global situation. Listen. What? Blast from the past, Philly smoke, ash in my ash. On your rhyme book, watch these bars crash in your ass. Like an out of control Buick Electra, deuce in the quarter. Crumple metal moves your troops from the border. Quick to aim a fifth, in a game of risk. Burn a bushel of sage, in the booth, then proceed to flame the shit. Crack G is an assassin when the ink hits the notepad. Poison dart to your neck, damaging your throat pad. A culmination of work, stress, time, anguish that'll leave you voiceless. Have you resort to sign language. I got some crime anglers that'll run up in your domicile. Just for thinking you're the golden child when we know your style. So next time you ever plan to play hostile, we got you. Say hello to the Rhyme Apostles. Crush your competition like a monster truck rally. Transmitting these sounds from Cameroon to Cali. You idiotics is embryonic, pretending brolic, but you rather colic, baby bonnet, seeming so symbolic, cause you out of character, bout it like he is. Master of data, chatter, sense and itty bitty fetus. Lyrical genius, he is. Black Jesus, don't hail Caesars, flow fevers, swine flus and shivers. Mindful delivers for thought, to the clock, tick tock, no diddy bop, this boom bap hip hop. Rock steady as the crew as he spew confetti flew. Y'all be fictional Betty Boo. Betty do numbers through summer's rain like the hurricane, Kong King, gorilla, McGill, orangutan, slang, some of the brain. Killer, you like the banger, Dillinger, strangle literature, inch of submission. I'm on a mission, wreck the scripting. Make this here look easy, BEASTMODE, just beat rappers up for a living and business is booming. Wolf speed, my strength is superhuman. I stomp through the hood, tough crack cement. Singalese warrior, exact descent, hard body. Working in the gym, get money like a dumbbell dummy. Flex ain't funny, stupid. Only hot shells on the surface got them running back nervous to recruiters in the service. What's the purpose of fucking with the banger? My hip hop off the hook, off the hanger. Rappers talk shit, then abandon ship. Crash course bar, slam your whole clan out the whip. Strapped in for a turbulent flight. Then my landing is smooth, I just cruise on them light on sight. I see him, I aim and let it go. Rob the spot, shoot up the keys and let it snow.
Disgruntled youth, my team actions, everything. Scapegoat the street, salute to the king. Kiss the pinky ring, shalom, I'm all with it. Dedicated to the game, I'm my worst critic. Mastering equality, shine on everything. Get my reps up, I ain't to be taken lightly. Invite me, this is cinematic without the hype of Spike Lee. Who's shiesty, cold as iced tea. I'm from Detroit, accustomed to rivalries. Niggas bad energy, I got a force inside of me. Cause I'm too high to be shook from the concrete to the books. Vetting the game, living the life of a rook. That boom bap, I'm trapped in the 90s with the grimies. That ant live shit that raised your eyebrow iris. From where I sit, none of these haters can deny me. I got love for the game, so crack the top on the heinies.
I got the heart of a lion, enough balls to rip Frank Nitty off to hit the block like Robin Hood and come back and hit the block off. Won't front, won't lose or snooze. Left hook or hit a rapper, knock him straight out his shoes. I mean, industry execs tried to misdirect me, but you could lose it all if you disrespect me. I got the flow that'll rip shit up. I got the strong arm game that'll fuck a rapper up. I keep them all on the toes, all in my own, cause I'm a diamond in the rough, plus to shine like a rhinestone. You can die in a click, or die alone, or get broke up like a dummy made of styrofoam. I mean, wisdom makes me stronger, faster and better, so when the shit goes down, man, I move too clever. Hands fly like birds coming out of the weather, so when the punch hits your chest, your shoulder blades come together. I curse every rapper in the game who doubts me. Go Brooklyn, ask Mike Tyson about me. Strong arm tough, better watch you to change up. Reggie put us in the cut, man. We both all came up. You can see us at a neighborhood Starbucks. Girls see us there, and some get starstruck. Gossip will get you nowhere. You should keep your mouth shut. When the leader's in the building, we gon' lift the house up.
Yo, spilling blood on killer tracks, we murder that. Still an act in the civil back in a different bracket. Yo, weigh it on this.
I'm only go 5 minutes, man, because that's 7 more minutes of fire. That's 7 more minutes of fire left, bro.
Yeah, wow. That was good.
And it's actually 12 minutes, and people are asking me, "Oh, there's 12 MC, so is that why you made it 12 minutes?" But it was just a coincidence, though.
Yeah, who you gonna stop? Who you gonna be like, nah, bro, that's enough? You know,
actually, you know, like I wanted everyone to do like 8-16 bars.
Yeah.
But when I sent the beat to Cannabis, he sent me back 34 bars.
Oh my goodness, Cannabis.
Yeah, I was like, what? But then, like I couldn't even cut it because I then felt like people love Cannabis for his old hungry old style with his long verses, like when it was coming in. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's how I like the song. It ended up stretching a little bit.
Second Round Knockout is my second favorite diss song of all times, next to No Vaseline, bro.
That one is crazy. He went in hard.
Anybody that had the heart to go at LL Cool J at that time, and the song be fire, you know what I'm saying?
That song was crazy, man. I think
song was. And he had Mike Tyson, even though you couldn't understand half of what Mike Tyson was saying. He had Mike Tyson, doing ad libs and everything, man. But yeah, definitely, bro. Man, let me tell y'all something, bro. Like this is what hip hop is missing. This is what I mean when I say what hip hop is missing.
Yeah.
And I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 December the 4th, along with my man Jay-Z. That's why he's my favorite.
30, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. But I be trying to give certain things a try, but I'm boom bap and lyrics to the heart.
Old school, huh?
Yeah, I'm just boom bap and lyrics to the heart. And I'm one of those guys that if your song doesn't catch me in the first 30 seconds, probably not gonna listen to your song. So the way that song comes in and the way that MC comes in and just starts attacking that track, it means everything to me. And at this point, I'm not going to change. I've tried and I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
But what you're doing right now, bro,
I think I feel what you're saying, because even me, I think I'm stuck in my sound. Like if you see the type of MCs I'm featuring, like
yeah,
they are around more or less the same era and the type of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with this style,
and that's why earlier in the show, as I was thinking of artists from Baltimore, and there's a couple of others. There's actually a crew here, and I call them the Baltimore Wu-Tang Clan. It's the two artists that I mentioned to you earlier, J. Royale, Ill Conscience, and then they have a guy named Guy Grams, and then there's a group called the Dirt Platoon. And they are right up the alley. Like they would have fit on that song. They would have fit on that song. And they would fit exactly what you're trying to do with this Rhyme Apostles project, bro. So like I said, I hope that you go and check them out. And again, if you decide if you want to connect with them, I believe that I can definitely make that happen. Also there's a There's a video on YouTube called Paramore, Parimore, and it's a documentary from when a lot of them that I just named went to Paris. So it's like Paris, Baltimore, Paramore.
Paramore.
Right.
Okay.
And it's like a behind the scenes documentary of when they went over there to work with some artists over there, and they did a little tour and everything. And it's just right up, it's right in, is like literally right in tune with what you do, bro. So if again, if you want to make that happen, I definitely can make the connection for you, bro. It would be fire. Like J
Definitely.
Royale.
Because I'm planning to I think I'll be coming in August to, I'll be going in a few cities to.
Okay.
I think I got some interviews, and
Okay.
I'm going to Shed 445. Shed 45.
Oh,
But
man.
that's in September.
Ooh,
but I
boy,
haven't finalized the date. So
you better be
once
ready.
I know what's up, I'll hit you up and let you know. Maybe I'll pass through Baltimore as well.
You better be ready when you get up on Shade 45, because they're gonna make you.
I know.
No matter what show you going on, they're gonna make you do your thing, right?
I know, definitely. Even when I went to 2 months ago, I went to This Is 50.
Mm-hmm.
So done the interview, finished, and it was like, oh, you see the spotlight? You're now on the spotlight. You gotta spit some bars, So you always gotta be ready. So yeah.
But I will say this: just the fact that you've gotten invited to be on any show on Shade 45 means a lot, because you don't just get an invite to any show on Shade 45. So somebody knows you, somebody knows the work that you're putting in, somebody knows the skills that you have. So just the fact that you're getting invited up there is huge, bro. And
yeah, I need to make sure I kill it.
Yeah.
So
you will. You will. I believe you will. So salute to you on that, man. Yeah, no doubt. Let everybody know how they can follow you, bro. And when the music drops, how they can get the music, how they can follow you social media wise and everything.
To follow me, it's on social media. Well, basically, it's Rhyme Assassin on everything, whether it's IG, Facebook,
You are on Facebook.
TikTok, YouTube, anything. It's just Rhyme Assassin, even on Twitter. So you'll be able to catch me, or check some updates on my website, rhymeassassin.com. If anyone wants to email, it's unclerhymes@gmail.com. And it's rhymes with a Z rather than an S. So yeah, easy to catch, just Rhyme Assassin.
That's dope, man. Okay, bro. I appreciate you taking some time, man. I know the roosters are about to come up over there where you are. So I'm definitely not going to hold you up too much longer, man. But definitely appreciate you taking some time out, man, and coming hanging with us and actually getting an opportunity to learn about you. I love shows when I introduce or when I get to talk to artists that I'm not really familiar with, because it's a learning experience for me as well. So definitely salute you, bro, and thanks for your time, man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Lisa, as well.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated, and thanks for having me.
And
It's been an honor.
Definitely let's make sure we connect when you come this way, because if you do come anywhere near the Baltimore area, man, I can plug you in for sure. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll hit you up tomorrow anyway.
I can even set you. I can even set you up with a battle if you want to sharpen your sword. No, I'm just playing.
Not a battle.
I can set you up with a battle if you want to. We got a league here called the Pit Fight Battle Leagues, man, and it's kind of
fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I'll look for it to see what I'm up against.
Absolutely. I appreciate you though, man. Thanks again for your time. Thank you for staying up for the late hour for us too, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, my man.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Have a good one, bro.
Yeah.
God, man. So it's like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's on probably
1:30. It's 1:30 in the morning where he is, man. That's dedication.
That is dedication.
That's dedication. I'm not doing an interview at 1:30 in the morning. I don't care whose show it is.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of work, and dedication that it takes to put in. So I appreciate him taking his time. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. Real quick, Lisa, I got to tell you, because I know that you were thinking about going. The event on Friday has been postponed.
Okay.
So we won't be going there.
Okay.
But we still have tickets available for September.
September 21st.
September the 21st. Hot Winters. Baltimore meets
Chambers.
Dallas. Tickets are actually selling. I'm impatient, so they're not selling as fast as I would like them to be, but I also know well enough to know that it's only July.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have to keep stuff
Relax.
like that in mind. I just want
Okay.
all of the tickets to sell so that I can have the money to take care of all of the things that I need to pay for, like, securing, the venue and paying the artists and
Understood.
all of that kind of stuff. But it's going to be what it's going to be. Hosted by the lovely and talented Lisa Monet. I'm looking forward to that. We will be celebrating someone's birthday that evening as well. So looking forward to that. Your people, Lisa, don't look at me like you don't know what we're talking about. Oh,
We'll have to talk.
if, right. I was going to say
We'll
if.
have to talk.
But yeah, despite the fact that the event on Friday was canceled, I'm still like I'm in a very excited mode right now because of the stuff that we have coming up. The Long Islands and the rum punches are selling. There's a lot going on, man. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm excited. Next week's show.
Yeah.
Today is the 17th, so next week is the 24th.
Excuse me. Sorry.
We got Busta Rhymes. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. We have gospel artists. Hold on. Let me make sure I get her name right. I know the first name is Monet, but I want to say her last name as well. This is a young lady that I met a couple of months ago at an event that my man Dr. E was doing.
Oh, okay.
N-A-Y-E. I feel bad now. But anyway, I met her at this event and she sang this song and it absolutely blew my mind away. She was so good that we were looking for people to sing at our church's anniversary, our church's 5-year anniversary, which was like 2 weeks later. And I got her to sing. I was like, yo, you gotta come sing for the anniversary. And she came and she did 2 songs and she shut the entire building down. So I'm looking forward to, and I was like, yo, you gotta come on the show. And she was like, okay, let's make it happen. So she'll be on the show next week. Very talented, man. I might get her to sing live on the show.
Okay, well, let's do it.
I might get her to sing live on the show. She's that fire. I don't let everybody sing. I don't let everybody. Everybody don't sing. Everybody don't sound the same live as they do when that technology is behind them.
Okay, you better say it.
But yeah, you got anything, Lisa? You want to close us out? You want to take us out in prayer? No, I'm just playing. Heavenly Father. No, but I appreciate you.
Maybe a little wash between. Sorry, okay.
Oh, she get ready to do the benediction.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but and again, man, continued prayers, man, out to, as I said earlier, DJ Booby and his wife and their family. My boy Renard, I know he's not gonna be able to come out on board with me tomorrow. So that's gonna suck because he and I just have fun when we're out there. And then my man Derek, praying that his mom pulls through, this situation. We understand, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
regardless of what the doctors say, we understand where that final decision lies. And those of us that understand and believe, we accept it for what it is. But we don't claim anything, so we're going to keep praying on that situation, man, and prayerfully miss the Lord. Let me tell you something. So Derek grew up probably 6 or 7 houses from me, and we were that neighborhood where if you did something 2 blocks away on your way home, you caught it from a few people.
That's right.
And Derek's mom was quite often the last person that I caught it from before I got home. You know what I'm saying? So that's how far, you know, we go back, and Miss Dolores was that person that would give you the shirt off her back and all of that stuff. So,
Oh,
you know, I'm personally not ready for that, but again, I understand. You know what I
right.
mean? I just
Yeah.
want my boy to know that we're here for him.
Right.
I hit him up today and we talked, and I told him if he needed me to take that drive down to Richmond with him when he goes back on Wednesday, that I'm there.
Okay.
So, you know,
That's beautiful.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
circle that I have, that's how we are. We come
That's
together. I mean, we're always together anyway, but we
Mm-hmm.
definitely come together in times like this. So, you know, prayers up for Mr. Dolores, man. Pull through.
Right.
Pull through. I need an apple pie or something. So pull through. But we appreciate everybody, man. Damn, it's 8:30 and we out here, Lisa. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I will keep you posted on some other stuff that I have coming up.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be pulling you away. I'm like, come on, Lisa, let's go. Come on, Lisa, let's go. Lisa, get your plane tickets. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Lisa, get your plane ticket. Let's go.
We're gonna see.
Aha, stay tuned. We're out here, man. We will see you guys next week. Access granted the pod stream. Shout out to my business partner, my sister, Tipsy Fiend. That commercial was nice too. She just
It
did
really
that.
was. I was like, oh shucks now. Look at
She
y'all.
literally did that right before we got on air. I was like,
Wow.
okay,
Okay now.
So just imagine we can afford to pay some people to do a real commercial. All right, man. We're out here. We'll see you guys next week. Access granted the pod stream. Peace.